Today we're gonna get some wood. First we're gonna need an axe. It's not the greatest axe, but it'll work. Now we pick whatever tree we want. Now we just endlessly chop the same spot until the tree falls down. Then I need to carry that wood over here, to the good old-fashioned wood drop-off zone where it gets incinerated and I make money. One piece was worth $20. If I get a sawmill, I'll be able to get more valuable wood. So let's try a bigger piece. And there you go. Take it away. Okay, it does actually need to be able to fit in there, otherwise it kind of gets jammed. Oh, that guy's got a truck. That would make it so much easier, but I've just about got this wood in there. Just about. Just got to give it enough wiggles and it'll get right over top of that one. Okay, it's all broken up. Just had to give it a little wiggle and in it goes for the big bucks. I've got $66 now. And a very basic sawmill costs only $130, so we're going to save up for that and a better axe. Pretty sure I can get this whole tree in there without having to break it up anymore. And I actually could. I got the whole thing in there. We have $100. We need more trees. I found this big different type of tree right beside where I need to drop it off, so this is a good bind. And it's definitely going to be worth it because of how long it takes to cut it down. The tree is down, so I just need to figure out a way to get it over to the spot, or I might have to cut it up here because it might be heavy. Looks like we're going to have to break it up a little bit, but I can't imagine how much money it's worth. Got my first little piece. Really hope I can manage to stuff this into the machine. It's really not my fault they made these things so small. Maybe with a little assist I can lift this up a little bit and get it over the rail. Didn't ended up getting over the rail, but I did manage to cut it up, so we'll get it into the machine and make our money. Each one of those is worth a lot. Way up to $150. So I'm actually going to buy a better axe for $90. That's going to help cut up this tree much quicker. That made it so much quicker it's almost a joke. Now we just got to use our patented technique to get it in there, and the fire will actually start to break it up itself if it gets far enough in there. That worked out a lot better than I thought it would. Look at all the money we have. This big stump piece will hopefully be worth a lot. We just kind of got to give it a little wiggle and in it goes. I definitely am very excited for a sawmill though. That's going to make this even quicker. I am a little bit worried about how cheap this one is, so maybe it won't be that useful. Either way, this guy's going to make some money. And I'm told I need to buy land to be able to place structures. So now we're visiting the land store, and I'm told I can't buy land without loading a slot. I have no idea what that means. So in the meantime, I'm going to see if I can steal this tree that somebody else cut down. But it's a little too heavy, so I'm just going to auto-click my way through it. Then maybe I can untangle this mess and get enough over there to make some money off someone else's hard work. But even if I get just a few little pieces in, the money goes up quickly. I feel like I don't even have to cut down my own trees. I could just steal other people's work. It's just a little piece of wood, but that still gave me $213 total, which means I could buy a steel axe for $190. And that looks a lot better finally, a quality axe. Now we just need to decide how to delve into this mess, but this actually tear through this in no time at all. Yeah, that was a lot quicker. If I let my auto clicker go like that, it's actually going to start tearing up the tree too much. We just want these little wishbone style pieces one at a time. And we're getting good at trying to find a way to get them into there, and then they cut themselves up. You just got to get them over the guardrail a little bit here. Once they go in, they'll break up real nice though. Just like that, there's 3 pieces. Hey, sir, can I help you with your wood? Are we allowed to steal people's wood? We are not. If Jess puts hers down, I might be able to pick it up. I won't be that mean though. And I finally figured out how to buy some land, which means we have our very first sawmill. So let's give it a try since there's a little log sitting right beside me for free anyways, and out comes a nice piece of lumber. So I'm going to carry this baby piece of wood all the way over to the store and see what it's worth. What I really need is a truck or even a train like these guys have. But that one piece of wood was going to be worth a few dollars for sure. That was worth 30 and that was just a little one. Now right beside my property and sawmill there happens to be this what I assume is a cherry tree. And with our current axe we absolutely destroy these trees so we can knock them down in no time at all and sawmill them. But I also realized the sawmill is not really that big, so it's only going to handle small pieces of wood at a time. Like it can't even take that in there. I've literally got to cut it up just a few more times to get it in there. But it's worth it because the wood's going to be worth so much. The problem is I have to carry it over one piece at a time, so we really need a truck. Because this could turn into walking simulator really quickly. But this nicely sawmilled piece of redwood should be worth, yep, give us enough to get $400. That's definitely enough to buy one single truck. Now we'll be able to get around in style and also load up my truck with the pieces of wood. So now we just need to sawmill a whole bunch and then we're going to have a whole bunch of money to work with. Okay, I'm going to take over all of this and see how much this is worth. This is already so much quicker. This is much better. And that like half a tree gave me over $400. That's not including the piece that ran away. The next axe is $550, so we got a minute to go. Brought another quick load of wood over because that should easily give me the money I need for a better axe for bigger, better trees. Yep, that gave us almost $700. One super axe, please. That looks even better. Tier 1 axe, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4. Okay, let's see what this new super axe does to a small tree. Looks like a few hits and it might already be down. I've also extended my conveyor just a little bit to make it a lot easier to load. It's still going to be a struggle because it's a very basic conveyor, but it'll do the job. Nearby, someone cut down a big tree, and it's only going to take us a few hits to bust through a tree of this size, so we can actually mine really quickly now. I don't think it's the most expensive of wood, but it's big enough pieces that will make some money anyways. Next, we're going to cut down one of these trees. I'm pretty sure these are bigger and more valuable. Our new axe seems more than up to the task. We're already about a third of the way through. It is a pretty thick tree though, so I don't know if we're actually going to be able to turn this into lumber, not with our current operation. But at least we can cut it up fairly quick, and I'll mill some of the smaller pieces into lumber. These pieces of wood are actually really big. And you know what they say about big wood? Big money. I've got no chance of fitting these through my sawmill yet, so I'm just going to see how much the wood itself is worth. So the little beam's going to take us from 300 to 326, so it's definitely worth it to take smaller wood and mill it. These big pieces are not going to do much for me. Even this giant one would probably be so much money if it was milled, but instead it was only a couple dollars. The other people gave up on this wood because it's probably too hard for their weak axes. So I'm going to see if I can take it off their hands for them. The next sawmill does cost $1,600. So after cutting down a few trees and doing a little off-screen grinding, there's what we need. Then the bigger sawmill is going to go right there. It's got a much bigger opening for much bigger logs. I'm pretty sure the sawmill couldn't take on logs this big before, and it just can now, so that's going to be a valuable one. It doesn't seem to like to spit out the really long ones. I think I could understand why, but for now we're just going to go ahead and throw this in and we'll find a way to sell them. I feel like I need a bigger truck to fit in some of this bigger wood. Like that just doesn't fit very well. But as per usual, I'll make it work. But this big one should be worth a few dollars. That's going to take us from $64 up to $218. That was worth $140, $150 for that one. So I really just got to focus my time on milling as much wood as possible. I'm also going to buy 2 conveyor extensions. The one I had was okay, but because it was sloped, it was just jamming the wood up more. So hopefully between this super axe and a new conveyor system, we'll be making money quick because I can knock this tree apart in like 2 hits. And I have a conveyor on the other side that kind of spits them out and takes them along the way so the end doesn't clog up and all the little useless pieces get stuck in there where I don't want to see them anyway. Okay, this is one tree, pretty crudely chopped up, but let's see how much one tree is worth for us now. It didn't take us that long to get here. I'm also finally going to remove this. Someone left it sitting here because they couldn't get it into the thing, and it's been sitting here annoying everyone ever since, so I'm at least going to get it halfway in there so it's somewhat out of our way. Anyways, we got $333 before putting our milled lumber in, so we'll see how much an entire tree is worth. That brings us up to $666, so that's pretty good money for one little tree that doesn't take us very long. And apparently this guy will lower the bridge for me for $100. I'll take that deal. Makes me think there's something good to have over here. It's only $100, but it's got to be good. I can't tell if these are different kinds of trees or not. They all look somewhat the same, but we have cars and furnishings. I definitely don't want to give my idiot any comfort stuff. He's got work to do. And this place is just straight up closed, so that's fine. Oh, so the bridge goes back up after a while, so you need to pay money to go back across apparently. So that's also fun. Oh, I see what people are doing. You can load it right into the back of your truck. That makes a lot more sense. But we here don't believe in sense and logic. I just want to put my wood through the machine and sell it. Is that too much to ask? I don't really know how the boards get longer once they go through the machine, but they definitely get a lot longer, which definitely makes them a lot of fun to try and transport. Okay, so I left one behind because it just fell out, but we're going to put this one on the conveyor eventually. And we're going to see what that rare wood is, especially because we had to pay $100 just to go get this wood, so I don't know if it's worth it. That was not worth it. This big chunk going in though, that might be worth a few bucks? Not really. If I drive backwards, the wood can't fall out. That was the single biggest piece. That was worth a fair bit of money, but still not enough to justify me going all the way over there. So let's real quick just cut up a cherry tree. With the power of this axe, it shouldn't take long at all to tear this thing down and tear all the way through it. If I had to set a really big milling machine, it would make it so much easier because then I'd be able to eat logs even like this without any wiggling or placement. Because now this one I'm probably going to have to fight with just to get it in the hole. And a few more pieces of that cherry brought us from about 700 to 1,050. That means we're about halfway to the silver axe, which costs 2,040. And due to a little magic and whatever, we have the money we need for that. So we're going to go ahead and pay $2,000 for that. We'll be able to chop wood even quicker. And it looks pretty good, going from basic axe to silver axe. And I think we've earned a sawmill upgrade anyway. This will be able to take down bigger, better logs quicker. I also bought some conveyor supports while I was there. Now I can actually raise my conveyors up to be the same level as the intake. And look how big the hole on this is. We're going to be able to do such big wood now. And I am going to leave gaps in the conveyor because I really don't think that's going to matter with the size of logs we're going to be dealing with. So let's see how this new axe actually chops the entire tree down in 2 hits. And you can probably bust it up, in basically 1 or 2 hits for any of its pieces. Then if I place these pieces on the conveyor, I can pretty much drop them any old way, and it should just suck them in and spit them out in a nice big log no matter what we throw in there. This conveyor could use some work, but it'll be fine. So naturally now we need to find a bigger piece of wood somewhere. I was hoping to be able to reach some of these trees. We're getting closer to them, but they're still up on hills. Okay, we managed to make it to them. I'd imagine they're going to be a little bit harder to cut down, but we're going to find out very soon. They're not as bad as I thought, but this is the strongest axe I could possibly find. Actually, considering how many hits that did take, I'd imagine this wood is pretty valuable. So we'll just take a few pieces of it just to be sure. I don't want to waste too much time on garbage wood. Then we'll go a little bit further up the mountain because I'm pretty sure that's a new kind of wood. And we have to drive past a volcano to get to it apparently. And now there's giant rocks trying to crush me as I go, so I'm not entirely sure what's happening anymore, but we need that wood, so get out of my way, boulders. As long as that last one doesn't turn this way, okay, we're past the boulder fall. And we made it to the top of the volcano where there's the redwood that someone already tried to cut down a little bit. I don't know what's going on with my money up there. There's like a line through it. It might actually be going down.
I don't care, I want the redwood.
The devil's trees are my trees now. This is really big and really thick, but you know it's got to be worth a lot. It's also really, really hard to mine through, even with the silver axe. Still might need a bigger sawmill to actually work with this stuff. It's huge. Okay, we got a few pieces of wood. I presume the fastest way to go down is like this. Hopefully the wood doesn't spill out because I worked very hard for it. I just didn't want to go past the boulders again. Okay, we lost a bit of the wood there and the truck flipped over. So that's a new one, but we'll just carry our wood back from here then. It's going to be a bit of a walk, but it's worth it. So even once you make your way all the way up there, past the rolling balls of death, you got to go back past them with your truck? That seems really dangerous and annoying. Boy, that was fun. What a long and prosperous journey. I did take the bigger of the pieces in hopes it would fit in the sawmill, and it's got to be close. So let's drop it on down. Are you going to fit, or are you going to be too big? You're too big. All right, well, you wait right there while I buy an even bigger sawmill for $80,000, which is a stupid amount of money. That's a much bigger hole. Now we should be able to get the redwood right in there with little issue at all. Okay, conveyors are set up. This should be able to eat the biggest of all the blocks. There we go. The biggest, baddest wood we could possibly find. It's going to spit out one tiny, long little red thing. Okay, it's actually very, very long. It's still going and going and going. What happened? What did we do to this thing? It's still going. Is it supposed to do this? What's happening? I'm going to have trouble getting this to the store. Like, it's going to reach halfway there from here. All right, well, luckily our guy's super strong. Apparently we're cutting down rubber trees now. Or maybe that's just what the sawmill does. It can turn small wood into very long wood. And that somehow makes it super valuable. It's hard to even see where this thing's going. I don't know how to maneuver this, but we're going to try and feed it into the wood drop-off somehow. Oh, it just took it. It just sucked it in when the tip went in. It was worth like $1,300. But I spent $80,000 on this sawmill, so it doesn't feel particularly worth it to drive all the way up to there for the redwoods. There's also a ferry that will take us somewhere. I don't know where, so we're going to try going there because maybe there's valuable wood. I see palm trees. These trees over here better be worth a long ferry ride. They're definitely bigger, fluffier trees, but we're maybe going to go to the end of this zone to find the big bad trees. Okay, the zone isn't very big, and there's a logic store. I'm not going to start doing logic with my conveyor belts. I barely can use the one I have, and it just feeds a thing. So we're just going to wander over here under the cover of dark and cut down one of these trees. These trees are also very tough, so that gives me high hopes they're going to be worth a lot. Okay, I'm going to see if I can take these two big chunks back. My truck is pretty much full with these two anyway. I just wanted to make sure I made the ferry before it left again, because I don't want to wait. Okay, this wood should hopefully easily fit inside my super duper sawmill, and maybe even super stretch it out again. It actually might not fit. I don't know what to do with it then, because if it doesn't fit in here, I don't know where to get a bigger sawmill. It's so close though. Well, I'm just going to throw one of these pieces into the wood, into the burner. That's going to take us from 57,000 to, that's like $100. That wasn't worth it at all. Okay, I'm going to try buying this chop saw for 12,000 if I can ever manage to get it to where it needs to go and see if that can service my big wood needs. To be fair, that is a big saw. Okay, well, let's put a big log under that and see if that's actually going to make a difference. Okay, it chops it. It didn't even chop it all the way, so I'm not really sure why I bought this thing or what it's supposed to do. That time it might have chopped it. No, it's just chopping partially it. And it still won't fit into its hole. Well, either way, I've successfully increased my lumberjacking skills to the point where I'm satisfied. We spent a lot of money to basically create this mess.